this one is black words in a white background, and this one I would like to change the way I use it. I want to use white words with some kind of black 光晕. And in contrast, this one is black words in white background, and this one is white words in white background, but with the black 光晕. So I think this one is actually the one I used in my Cayman speech. So that's the answer that I expect you to do in this case. Okay, and another one is joy. Can I go too fast? Okay. Okay, and now we are gonna fix the other case, that is Joey's case. Again, we enlarge this picture. Then you can see the words. So I want to copy this white background here. But somehow I think, because in this picture the background is mostly really dark. This white background is, I don't like white background in this kind of situation. So I would like to use a darker background. I want the word to show upon this black background. So I would like to make it white. Also, I would like to change the font type to maybe 微软正黑体 or Calibri. That's alright. Okay, so now it's a result. So in this case, you can see the large picture, both with the words really clear. So actually, these two are the slides that I used in my Cayman speech. It is also the result that I want you to do in this practice. Okay, I'm talking about the two skills. One is how to use mask to, I like to call it picturize your words, to make your words set upon your picture. That is the way you use mask. And another is to eliminate the margin of the picture. You can enlarge the picture or use some kind of skill like 揉边. Okay? And I think that's the goal of this practice one. Alright, let's back to the lecture. The practice one is finished. Then we are going to talk about some skills related to picture. Because we have a lot of chance. We don't only put words on our slide. There's lots of chance that we should use pictures. So again, what's wrong with this slide? Also, you can see the margin of this picture. That is unnecessary. That is not so meaningful for your audience. But in this case, I use the right font type. It is 微软正黑体, and it can clearly show the audience that what you're gonna talk about. So this is the iPad. If you want to watch movie on iPad, it's good, but mostly we will choose to go to movie theater. That's why to enlarge your picture is a kind of effective way just to protect it. Like in this picture, if you use a large full screen picture, all the audience can see clearly that you are going to talk about the man in the middle. But is full screen picture always good? I don't think so, because in this case, it's quite distracted. It's a full screen picture, but it's too complicated. You don't know where you should look at. So this one is not eye focusing. Or in this one. This one is also a full screen picture, but the resolution, that means 解析度, is really, really poor. So it is still not effective enough. And in this case, if I'm going to, in my speech, I'm going to talk about wisdom. So I put a lot of books in the background and the words here. Seems good. If then I want to talk about freedom, I put the picture is a man that waving his hand and wave to these words freedom. What's wrong about these slides? Because in this case, I think those cases use really big pictures. There's some common problem among them. One is your style are not consistent. A series of slides, I think they have better in the same style. If you use several styles in one set of slides, that means I don't like that one. And another is those kind of full screen pictures, just like in our practice. That is quite difficult for us to insert the words on the big picture. For example, in this one, I intensely make this picture kind of vague. Do you notice that? Because if I make this picture vague, you will consider that to be the background, and we can emphasize the words I want to convey. And also, I use the 黑光晕 I just teach you in the practice. So you have so many things to do to deal with only one slide in order to make your words easier for your audience to note that. So I think sometimes this kind of slides, they are beautiful, but it really takes you much time to work for it. So sometimes I think icons are good. But it's icons like this. There are several icons I use in this slide. Do you notice that? Those, when we are talking about colors, when we are talking about words, it's several icons. And I'm going to introduce a very, very useful website that is now project, and I'm going to show it for you. Okay, if you Google no project, what's wrong? No project. Okay. They will lead to a very, very useful website. Are you always 连线中? Please go to the website. Okay, this one. you can follow my steps. I will recommend you to put this website into your bookmark. That means 书签 or 我的最爱. So now you can open your notebook and go search these keywords. No project. And then you can follow me step by step how I use this website. Click on project. You will be directed to a website that's full of icons. If you want to download those icons, you have to log in first. And the good news is you can log in with your Facebook account. So you don't have to create another account only for this website. Okay, now I log in this website. And for example, in my slide where I'm talking about key messages, there are several keys between each point I want to say. Where does those keys come from? I search the website key. Then you can find there's several keys you can choose. Is that all right? Any problem? Okay, and the key I want to use is, if it is this one. Press the key and just press download. Nice choice, you have selected the key. Choose your file type or both. I would like to use SVG, because SVG is kind of a vector picture, 向量图. Or you want to download PNG, that's also right. Anyway, you download the picture. So you can directly use these kind of icons in your slides. And furthermore, you can also change the color of this kind of icon. So overall, this kind of icons is very, very useful when you are making your slides, especially with white background. These icons are very good, I think. Okay, and now I will suggest you to put this website into your, I will call it 我最爱 or something, in your bookmark. It is really, really useful. The previous lecturers, like of this SGD, like Bill or like Jack, they will recommend several useful websites to you. But I think this one is the only one that I will use it again, and again. So I will recommend this website to all of you. Okay, now let's go back to our lecture. So in this part about picture, the thing I want to say is to use big pictures. They are emotional. You use them to create some kind of atmosphere, just like serif words. And most of the time, those icons, like this key, is really convenient for you to use. You won't waste so many time on searching the picture of keys, and they are really difficult for you to use. You have to use some kind of software like Photoshop to use. I call it 套索工具 to catch those keys and put them on your slide. You don't have to do that. You just download the picture of this icon and just put it in your slide. And the last thing is, if you want to use big pictures, please make sure that the resolution of the picture is really high. That's the 3 key messages I want to convey in this section. Okay. Now let's go to the last part of basic skills. That is, I want to talk about animation. Animation is what we can make everything, because most of the animation that is really eye-directed and also eye-focusing. Animation is the tool that you can direct the eye of the audience and also focus their sight on one point on your slides. But before you make the animation, please notice that there are 2 kinds of animation. One is 切换 and another is 动画. They are different. 切换 is the animation between slides, from this slide to next slide. And 动画 is those you apply to the object of each slide in one slide. For example, this word is one object in this slide. 动画 you can make it to move from here to here, to show up or to vanish. These 2 are different. To notice that before you really make the animation. And then I'm going to introduce some really useful animation that I use it almost all the time. One is fade out. Fade out means 淡出. This will just fade out in front of your eyes. That is, I think it is a very safe and effective animation. Why? Because it is both informative, eye-directed, and also eye-focusing. I want to talk about these 3 points, so I just showed it up one by one. When I'm talking about informative, I just show informative on the screen. So you can see eye-directed and eye-focusing. Why? Because I want you to focus on the informative one, to focus your sight. And then I use animation to show this one next and this one in the last part. That's why we use animation. That is to direct the eye to see those informations one by one. And another really useful animation is wipe. That means 擦去 when you are using the software. This is an example. When we see this slide, this one is black, that one is blue. This animation is called wipe. From the left to the right. It is really useful for if you are using lines or arrows to direct the audience eyes from here to there. So I think this kind of animation is really eye-directed. When you are using lines or arrow, you can use wipe as your animation. And I think the last part is I'm going to talk about is 滚轮. I don't know what it is called in English, but one example that I use 滚轮 is when I'm talking about this slide. This animation showed up is called 滚轮. That you want to circle something. This is a good animation for you to use. And when you are using this animation, you don't need to press your remote control every time. You can use you can trigger those animations one by one automatically. That is 连续触发 when we are going to we'll practice this one in our practice too. For example, this is the way I use animation. It is also a slide that I use in my C3 speech. I want to talk about 4 points in my conclusion. So, conclusion 1, conclusion 2, conclusion 3, conclusion 4. I use animation to show these 4 points one by one. So your audience can only focus on one at once, but finally you can put all these 4 points in just one slide. So that's the power of animation. But also another example is the slide I used in demo meeting. I want to show some specialties of the New Toastmasters Club. So I use this slide is international, more than 14,000 clubs over hundreds of countries. We use English, we speak English, and you can see the background are changing after the words are changed. And this is the final one. So you can see this series of animation, these kind of slides are the combination of big picture, the icons, the words. You can combine all these skills I told you to make this kind of beautiful slides and also effective to show your audience your idea. So the key message about the animation part is to use fade out one by one to focus your audience sight on one thing. Just like I show this first one and then the next one to prevent you see the next one when I'm talking about the first one. And next is to use white to direct the eyes. It is really effective when you are using lines or arrow. And last one is, this is a very common mistake. That is, you are going too far to use too many complicated animation. How we use animation is to direct the eyes. But if you use too many animations, then you direct the eyes from here to there and here to there. That is somehow distractive. So you use animation, but don't use it too much. But only talking about this kind of lectures is not enough. We will need practice. So now please open the file of practice 2. We will take around 20 minutes to deal with this one.